You gotta love some murder every now and then, you know? Especially when it's
Shrek.
just hollows, because hollows aren't
Like-
really people.
I am the demon.
Then you... No, Eric, you are the demon!
And then I became the demon.
And then this moth tried to drop poison on me. These guys are kind of jerks.
You know what my reaction would be if somebody told me, and then, you know, they told me, no, you are the demon. You know what my reaction would be?
What would be that?
Fuck it.
Okay, but I guess to address the audience, this is the Huntsman's Copse again. That is a giant coliseum of sorts. We'll be visiting there later. Probably
And also, hello everyone!
Indeed. So, as you can see, Voltaire is going to continue on his murder escapade. I'm going to just be killing our good old friends, the Hollow Thieves. They look a bit more gruesome and ugly. They kind of got hit with an ugly stick like every step of the way. Plus we have hollows. They're like greener than normal.
Ugh.
But basically, these hollows these guys really are not hard, and you can easily kind of stagger them pretty simply. We're just gonna deal with all of them now. And unfortunately, the Huntsman's Copse, I will say, it's an interesting place, but it kind of falls under the terrible thing of a few bad design choices. I'll go no further than that, because instead of just talking about it and ranting, we'll show it better, yes?
Yeah?
Because first we must murder even more of these guys. Like, when they have clubs. Oh. Excuse me, sir. Do you believe you are in my way? Kindly die. Thank you. Okay, so basically, killing these two guys awards us with a drop and gives us basically some poison moss and a life gem. That's basically the same things, as well as basically the same way we just came from. And do you see this door, good sir?
I do.
You want to hold your shield up. Why? Because the moment you touch this door, this little bastard will start attacking you.
Who is this bastard?
Yeah, Hollow Thief. Basically,
Right.
to my knowledge, other than what I just did, which is a very calm approach to that door and walking back, there's almost no way of getting to that door without actually him hitting you. It's kind of mean. And as we go over here, there will be a hollow around this corner, also carrying a club. We're just gonna let him come out so we can murder him with our bastard sword. To which we will get what he was guarding, which was a cracked red eye orb. We're gonna just drop down this ladder because it's not gonna matter, and we're gonna kick this tree down because it's a shortcut. And normally this would be a great idea. Unfortunately, this shortcut is useless. You know why, good son?
Because it leads you to nothing but death?
Well, no, because the power of magical camera movement. There's the second bonfire. Even though we just opened a shortcut that led us to the bonfire down there. Yeah. You can almost say that there's no point for this bonfire to actually be here if we're going to make a bonfire. Or vice versa, the shortcut should not be there if the bonfire is going to be here. Especially considering, you know, we have the convenient thing of, I don't know, warping between bonfires. It's a minor thing, I guess, but it's just like, it would have made sense if you actually were willing to do something, if they were willing to do something with that, there's a bonfire later on, later in this level, which makes more sense for it to be there. Which is and I know the purpose of this bonfire is for basically the area with the Coliseum, but it would work better if it was either up there or had a shortcut that went down to there instead of doing this ridiculously long circle around basically. I won't show it now because I'll be demonstrating that later, but because we'll be going there later, but you'll understand how silly that way is. But for now, we have this fat man. This is an artificial hollow. We're just going to bully him because he is a gargantuan fat man with sickles.
Indeed.
Yes, you're so fat. Ow, and unfortunately, insulting the fat people is a bad thing because they hit like trucks, unfortunately. Let's see, we're just getting...
It's kind of a mutual understanding, though, good stuff.
Yeah. But usually, they usually move slow enough that you can actually get them... You can usually get them in an animation where you can actually harm them and actually hurt them. And while I'm at it, I'm getting sick and tired of these guys kind of just like shooting fart gas everywhere, so we're just going to kill some. And ironically, they use butterflies. When you kill them, they actually will usually drop poison moss to help recover from poison that they've... And you probably have accumulated from them. We're going to move over here quickly before that artificial undead dude notices us and proceed to murder some more hollow thieves, because yes, picking my battles a bit wisely, which is why I'm going to go inside the cell and brush against this little lever here, in which there's going to be a hollow to drop down. He usually will try to come murder your face if you like pull this lever, which we're going to do now. Because we need this lever to actually progress through the level, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because it lowers that bridge. The bridge is... Ow! You! Oi! You there. You with the arrows. Stop your nonsense, or else I have to kill you. I didn't think so. I don't like death, I hear. Then rightfully so, no one likes death. Also, this guy is going to get a quite sound beating when I'm done with him. Thank you. You can get the hollow thief armor from them as before. It's not as... It's like in some places it's cooler, but in other places it's not cooler. But that's neither here nor there. And also, because of that bonfire we just saw, I'll say this now. Here's the other bonfire of this area. But we can't, and there's a dude in this cage. Unfortunately, we can't open it because it's locked. So I guess we'll just have to keep going then. And deal with even more thieves. Which we actually get probably an interesting weapon. Unfortunately, it's not so good, the thief dagger. It's a cricket tip, it's common accessory for thieves, and shuttle crafted without much bite. I still would like to make a build around that weapon, but unfortunately, it may not ever happen someday. Who knows? Oh my god, I am actually getting bullied by these guys. This is mean. You're not supposed to bully me, people. Only I must bully people. Arrgh. Clearly they do not understand how the rules work. So mean. Let me just avoid this guy and get with him. And then you were the dead man, and he was the dead. Oh, and the only reason I'm taking this long cave... I will say this now, guys, you can go into those caves if you want to. I'm not going to hold it against you. Personally, I'm not, because, unfortunately, I don't have the tolerance to deal with silly necromancers right now. There are necromancers in there, I guess I should mention, but not only just normal necromancers, but necromancers with skeletons. If anyone remembers the catacombs, that's basically like a terrible place. And I'd rather not deal with that right now, because that is just silly. Plus, we're just going to murder this guy. In cold blood. And use a life gem to recover while I'm at it. Kind of running low on healing stuff. It would be kind of bad if I was, you know, deal with the boss right now. It'd be horrible. Ow. Come on, Mr. Thief. Stop firing your arrows. Come hit me with your knives. Show me how beautiful they are, and I will just proceed to murder you instead. Now, this hut is going to be important for us because we want to go in there, but unfortunately there's sort of an ambush of sorts going on. We're just gonna so we're gonna beat them to the punch. It's so rude, I swear. It's mostly me being careless, if anything. And we will get the undead lockaway key, which, if we go back to that cell, which we're going to, and I'll probably cut this run back, and I'll just, we'll meet you at the cell then. We're gonna get a bonfire, good sir, and this is the bonfire I'm gonna burn for the skeleton lords. So we have to deal with this facade forever. Yeah, my throat hurts all of a sudden too. Ugh. Okay, so using this key will allow us to finally get ourselves to a bonfire, as well as an interesting man. Let us talk to him and see what he has to say.
Who are you? I thought you were that bastard for a moment.
Hmm?
You've set me free. Now I can find him. The cheeky prick. He won't know what hit him.
So yeah, he seems pretty upset about someone, but let's see if we can figure out.
The mirror. I travel from land to land to hone my blade. I've heard this land was full of danger. I thought it would suit me perfectly. I joined forces with a man on the way. He was no more than a backstabbing knave. He took the first chance he had to try and off me. I decided to set a trap for him here. But then I got trapped myself. I can't believe that I was so dense. Thank the stars that you came along.
So yes, this is Mr. Crichton of Mira. He is looking for a man that...
Paint, I think he said. And there's this rather unusual ring. You know it when you see it. I've seen his type before. He kills entirely for the pleasure of it. I'm sure I won't be his last victim. A man's better off dead. Tell me. He's asleep.
This is all very interesting, good sir.
It is.
You know what's even funnier?
Oh, what?
This entire time you've been talking to yourself.
The man with a strange ring.
Fun fact, I didn't hear you leave.
Watch out for the slimy rat.
Fun fact, I just muted my mic because I was looking for something. I was making a lot of noise.
Believe a word he said.
It's alright.
I'll find the common from the band.
In fact, I'm actually going to continue to look for that because I need to know where it went.
Yes. So, Crichton here apparently claims that Mr. Pate actually tried to do him in. He tried to trap Mr. Pate, but got trapped himself. So he's gonna go try to kill him off if possible.
Paint. The man.
I say yes.
We're gonna
Because
leave him
yes.
alone to do that. Because we'll be meeting him and Pate later on. And perhaps, who knows, maybe those two will join later as he goes off to do whatever he needs to. Also, I guess while I'm here, I'll show that I got like all of Felkin's hexes while off screen while doing some soul grinding, because that would be boring and stuff. But since we're now here, we're going to go back to murder everything again, because yes, I might actually use some of my sorcery since I'm actually having it. Since I can actually.
Good time disappearing again because I need to continue to find this thing.
Alright, go sir, you need to do what you need to do. I will continue to murder. Murder I shall, because that Archer is getting on my nerves. And who is the dead man? You are the dead man. We're gonna keep going along this route, basically going back to where we came, the way we came. Who cares? We're going to murder. We have more people to go, and this is sort of the way to the boss anyway. So it makes sense that we'd go here anyway. So, oh, I always forget that my chime is like there. I'm just gonna murder this little rascallion and bandit. I like bandits. They're too shifty. Especially this man. Look how shifty he is. So shifty he's dead. Okay, so we'll just murder him. Good. Where are you? Be you, mister. Alright, so we're basically back to the way we're already back to where we were. And we're just gonna keep making our way over here. Which I believe we have a friend who would try to ambush us. It'll get. And but that is not all that awaits us. We have the dark spirits of merciless Rowena. Who's basically a creepy bone-shaped girl with a scythe of that looks like bone. We'll be seeing that scythe later. We may or may not be seeing that scythe later, but typically the most she'll do is try to attack you with her scythe and cause you to bleed out. But if you're like me, you can just simply assault her with range and she is completely helpless. So that happens. And with that, we're going to switch to a chime because we're going to use a new hex we have, the Resonant Soul. And man, I will tell you, I love this hex. It's too good.
Because it's awesome.
Oh yes. Yeah, well, glad to
And also, I found the thing I was looking for.
Indeed. With that said, we are going to hit the boss immediately. I give you the Skeleton Lords. These guys have a cool gimmick. My advice to you, do not attack the man with the staff. Leave him alone for last. Even though he shoots fireballs, which may look scary, you'll understand why, because when you kill a Skeleton Lord, they actually die. And they bring skeletons on their way, which is kind of scary. But thankfully, I have Resonant Soul on my side, which means I'm going to be doing a lot of damage to people. I mean, look at that! I just point and click and they die. All of them die. And is dead. And there's a reason why I suggest if you're going to be fighting these guys to leave the guy with the staff alone. Because as you see, the main two I killed, they all summon a bunch of skeletons at best. But what does he summon if I'm dealing with like skeletons and armored skeletons? Well, good says, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so glad you were so kind to ask. Because we're not gonna murder this guy now. We're gonna murder this man's face super hard till he's dead, and reveal what his soul drops. Are you guys ready? You ready for this? The return of the bone wheel skeletons. Oh my god.
Oh no.
These guys gave me nightmares like in Dark Souls, but unfortunately, I killed all of them before they could even finish spawning. Huh,
Right.
I totally forget how broken this hex is actually. Oh well. And for killing them, we get the Soul of the Skeleton Lords, which were the Skeleton Lords who reside in the deep within the Huntsman Copse. The old Iron King commanded the capture of all undead, but those charged with the task were overcome by the curse. So yes, these guys were basically, the Skeleton Lords we fought were apparently actual hunters of the undead before eventually they hollowed out themselves and decided to make a weird kingdom of bones for some reason. And since we're not going to be using their soul for anything, time to crush it in our hands! For 6,000 extra souls. Because we're going to be cashing in later. But before then, we're going to pull this lever. Because this is going to introduce us to the next area of the game. Which we...
Error.
What do you think, good sir? Should we tackle this place, or tackle this in the next area, since I can pretty much do these in quick succession, or leave them both for next time?
It depends where we're heading.
Well,
Let's head over there so we can show them, and then I'll decide.
Yeah, we'll make the decision. We'll have the executive decision there. Basically, we're just going to make our way up this tunnel, and even though we were kind of in a moonlit area, we're now going to be in a more clouded, fogged area. Presumably in, like, midday instead of at night. And welcome to Harvest Valley, everyone. There's a bonfire here, like in this little lake of poison for some weird reason, but we're just going to ignore that and light a bonfire instead to sit ourselves in it. Because it's all good. So, what do you think, good sir? Should we... Well, actually, first off, I want to introduce this wonderful little woman over here. We'll let her introduce herself.
Are you a traveller? I'm Chloanne, an ore-stone trader.
Camera to get a good look at this windmill area.
I travel about collecting rare stones, which I sell to make my living.
Yeah, I love how you're still poisoned.
I never
Yeah.
planned to visit this
I don't need the poison.
godforsaken place.
It's all good.
But I don't know. I just sort of ended up here.
So look here, you say?
I must have just wandered in.
So you don't. So you could say.
But
you
now
don't
that I'm
remember
here-
how you got here.
I've been scouting around for rare bits. Oh, don't look at me like that. Many of these stones are quite useful. For instance,
Go away,
certain
Mr.
stones are used in
Roberto.
smithing.
I don't need to know, Choco.
oh, now your ears prick up.
Thank you.
I've extras if you can pay. This is my trade, after all.
So yeah, meet the stone trader Chloe. She mentioned she sells rare stones, but unfortunately at the moment, all she can sell is Titanite shard, but as well as a bonfire aesthetic. I'm gonna actually buy this from her. It's important for later. Also, she sells the hex of the miracle in Solipes, which basically harms the hollows a lot, but also the hex dead again, which a hex that casts a dark flame upon corpses, causing them to combust violently. Hexes such as these that tamper with life itself are particularly abhorred. We are totally going to
Get
buy
it.
that too.
Get it.
I totally am. And we're just going to, and like many other NPCs, we're going to exhaust dialogue.
I came here in search of rare stones, but the place is
I say after you do this, though, it says a nice time to save the rest for the next episode.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We'll save these the next few areas for next time, since they're both pretty short.
Because we're assholes like that. Oh.
The trained eye.
Plus, there's also like another boss in the Huntsman Copse later that we'll deal with
Some
as well.
of them are used to smith weapons
Yeah.
and armor. And some unique stones provide special
We'll just
benefits.
let Chloe be the ending of this episode. Some nice dialogue
Some of
from
them
her.
are extremely rare and should be used with great thrift. None
Shame
of
you
the
don't sell these
differences are
stones till
easily
later.
spotted. But I've learned quite a lot, really. Drang Lake. How is it that I ended up here? It's funny. I can't seem to remember. I've searched every nook and cranny here.
Yay. She's finally moving on.
Yep. Like most of
Perhaps
the
we'll
NPCs
meet
we've
again,
met,
if we live that
she's
long.
going to piss off here, and we will see her later in Majula, actually, of all places. So, for the time being, we will.
I
her
suppose
go
it's
on her
about
way.
time I moved shop.
And as we end this episode, we're going to give you a little sneak peek. Surprise, it's poison.
And a big giant motherfucker down there.
And windmills. So, until
And-
next time, everyone, we will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.